Thank you for staying with us on TVC Breakfast Saturday. The cyber threat landscape is becoming increasingly complex, with hackers leveraging artificial intelligence, machine learning, and social engineering tactics to breach defenses. And so the need to step up cybersecurity and stay ahead of emerging threats and trends is essential. A single breach can have devastating consequences, including reputational damage, financial losses, and legal repercussions. And so to tackle the surge in cybercrimes, a non-governmental organization in Nigeria, in partnership with other tech establishments, have unveiled Africa's first ethical hacking platform. And this platform attracts young tech users through a 24-hour hackathon gaming competition.
A global phenomenon, cybercrime is an expression coined to portray the various atrocities committed on the internet, and it keeps infesting the cyberspace, leaving devastation in its wake. Its incursion is visible in the Nigerian landscape as the country loses about $500 million yearly and wants concerned entities to seek solutions.
And the fifth, which we all say, there's nothing.
A group of technology-driven individuals are confronting these threats head-on through their ethical hacking training platform that trains users to think like malicious hackers, proactively detect security vulnerabilities, and recommend countermeasures.
We're looking at what we can do to bridge this gap, to create wealth for the people in the tech world too. And you see that when they leave Nigeria for other countries, they go there to go and do odd jobs, and it's tech that's in vogue. So it's something we should look into here in Lagos and Nigeria to see how we can engage this youth.
One of the functioning sector in Nigeria that we can boast of outside the country is actually the banking sector. And we can see now that the banking sector are being attacked. Of course, not so many of them are saying it out, but they are being attacked because of shortage of resources that can actually address and mitigate this stuff. So if we're able to use the platform, not if we are going to use the platform to build that capacity and build that competence, and hence address not just the banking sector now. So I mean, like, it's a huge benefit because you get youth out of the street, you get people getting a job, you create some kind of circular economy.
As the Nigerian cyber fraud Yahoo becomes rampant among youth, one may need to exercise caution in skilling up these youths in hacking, even if it's supposed to be used ethically.
We are ensuring that whoever enrolls onto our platform gives us a proof of identity, as well as ensuring that they belong to some form of association that we can verify.
My vision on this new access is to learn more skills and to also help other people. The fact that you jackpot doesn't mean you cannot do the same thing in Nigeria. So you can actually do the same thing in Nigeria here and actually be better and help other people to grow.
When young cybersecurity professionals emerge through learning from this app, the founders project a secure digital space that all can safely navigate.
Thank you for staying with us and talking about safeguarding the cyberspace ethically. We have joining us to speak some more about this conversation. You've seen the reports to serve as some form of background information to help with this interview. The Chief Executive Officer and the Managing Director of Suwebatu, Paul Okpara, is here with us, and welcome you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Right.
Very good morning to you.
And we understand, like we were speaking just before we were brought back on air, that you are also more or less involved in this hacking competition. Give us more of a sense and the idea behind it.
So I think one of the things I think it's very important to set some kind of stage when it comes to the cybersecurity. I mean, because there's a lot of confusion around it. So I mean, to put a context around cybersecurity. Just let's look at it this way, that you have keys and locks for your windows and for your doors, right? And you're basically just protecting it from the outsiders to get in. So those outsiders are called hackers, just for lack of better name for them, right? So if we transfer that to cybersecurity or to computing, it will be you putting keys and locks
to mobile phones, to your computer, to your digital informations. So what we did with AfriHackBox is this. We realized that it is very challenging to be able to tackle this problem. We came together, that the Suweba2 and Just Unsecure, to create a platform to address, like I think you rightly read out, the challenges that is facing the AI, proliferation of AI, and how easy it is actually now to hack stuff. So we came up with a platform that young people, both beginners, intermediates, and advanced can use to learn how to actually hack ethically in that sense.
What does that mean?
Okay, yeah. So I really like that question. I mean, so what is hacking?
Ethically.
Ethically. Okay. So ethical hacking is basically you finding vulnerability in a more professional and in a more courteous way, I would say. So so I'm not an expert in psychology, but as human, we have this natural tendency to perpetuate, to be kind of mischievous in what we do, right? So how do we train people to be able to kind of reduce that mischievousness of their own for their own stuff, to be able to now translate that into professional doing things right, I would say. So if it's malicious, knowledge can be used in different ways, right? So we could use knowledge for both good and for evil. So in this sense, you being ethical means you're using your knowledge that you acquire in a very productive and in a non-malicious way. So that is what you're doing it ethically means.
Right.
Have you done the statistics of those hackers that we have in the country, and how formidable is that platform that you're talking about to be able to harness more development into the country? I'm talking about you partnering other organizations that, okay, these are things that you need to do to forestall any form of hackers.
That is the discussion, great question. That's the discussion that we need to bring on top of the table now to start to have. Right? One of the things, and I've been stressing this a lot of time, in Africa, or specifically since we're in Nigeria, we lack collaboration, which is why Suweba2 AB and Just Unsecure came together. Suweba2 AB is a for-profit organization, while Just Unsecure is an NGO. But like I said, we need to all come together to be able to solve this problem. So the questions are, we've been reaching out to different companies within cybersecurity, within security agencies, government, different industry, to be able to partner with, to be able to address this problem. I mean, statistically, I don't have that numbers now on top of my head to tell you, but one thing, she read out the proliferation of AI and how easy these days, it's very easy for a newbie. I mean, on my way to the studio, I was just checking what we can all relate to. I think every one of us here uses ChatGPT, right? And I was just checking how easy it is for a newbie to compromise an entire banking or business application. It's very easy for you to just prompt any large language model, which is what is powered by ChatGPT, to say, how can I compromise a site? How can I kind of generate a code to inject a SQL injection attack? And it takes just 2 minutes to be able to, less than 2 minutes to be able to do that. That is really dangerous, because imagine how many newbie can easily compromise an enterprise application, right? So the discussion we need to start having is this: how do we come together, government, regulatory body, standard, and industry? How can we come together collaboratively and stop denying the fact that this is going to be our new world right now? I mean, people on the street now have power to be able to do something, right? So we need to raise ethical hackers, people that have knowledge, that can use their knowledge in the right way. But these people need to be guided, which is why we built the platform. Like, let's have you guys on board on this platform. Let's train you. Let's imbibe the necessary idiosyncrasies, something that will make you act properly. And
not in a negative
not
way.
in a negative way.
Because we see a lot of negativity in the country. And a lot of people are saying, I'm just tired that I have just been hacked. What is the basic solutions to that young Nigerians that is watching us at the moment, that these are the basic steps that you need to do? Ordinary WhatsApp, a lot of people have been hacked.
I was in a discussion yesterday when someone was basically asking me what are the tips and tricks for us to be able to safeguard ourselves.
Indeed.
And I was like, I would like to give you the tips and tricks, but we have a bigger problem. Because let's say you learn how to flip a switch. You learn how to put on a switch and put it off. Now you have that knowledge. Fantastic. That is really good. Now the grid is off. What does that knowledge actually do to you? You put on the switch, the light is not coming on because the grid is off. We are having all forms of problems in our backbone infrastructure that needs to be addressed.
And what's the key challenge?
The key challenge to its resources, human resources. I mean, it's much easier now to raise a bad army than to raise a good army because it's kind of cheap to raise a bad army. But raising good armies takes time, and that's the discussion we need to start having. What do I mean by good armies? Training people in the right way on how to mitigate these attacks. Right.
So that is what the hackathon set out to achieve.
Yeah, so that's what the platform is set up to achieve. The platform is an actual platform where people engage and get to practice on how to avoid, because I mean, let me put a bit of context to this. So for you to be able to secure your house or your properties, you need to at least understand the possible loopholes. And what this platform will do for you is this. It will help you to understand that these are possible loopholes. And if I'm able to understand possible loopholes, then I know how to secure that loophole. So this platform simulates a real life of, at least I can call TVC, since I'm in TVC now, right? So this platform simulates the possible entry point. If we imagine TVC station to be a house, it simulates the windows, the doors. If people can penetrate from the balcony, what do you now do when you understand those perimeter? Then you begin to devise means to what? To protect it. And that's what this platform simulates. So you learn things like how do you secure your web application to avoid injection attack.
Okay.
So if you already know how to practice, if you have practiced on the platform and you know how injection attack can be carried out, what do? You develop something to counter it, right? By doing secure coding, and that's something you also learn.
Right. So what were the takeaways, the major takeaways from, the experience, the recent launch of the platform? I take it it's the first. Is it the first time you'll be holding something like this?
Yeah. It's the maiden event.
And it's set to be, it's going to be continuous?
No, we don't have a choice. It has to continue.
Right, which is where I'm headed in this question. As in, what are the takeaways in terms of the level of interest and, other observations, from you guys organizing that will perhaps set the tone for the next outing?
So it is, I'm a believer of putting my money where my mouth is, right? One thing that's been very encouraging with this hackathon, it's shown me that, and together with my team, right, that there's a huge interest that people want to do good and they want to learn. And if people are given the platform to learn, they will seize it and they will learn. The turnout was massively overwhelming. We were estimating that about 150 people will be able to play on the platform.
Of young Nigerians?
Of young Nigerians. It was open for African, but they said charity begins at home, right? So we wanted to start here in Nigeria. Over 700 people applied, even without making any kind of public, too much publicity, right? And about 200 played actually on the platform.
Okay, so it was a virtual.
So we simulated a real life. If someone is going to attack my company now, they can be anywhere,
Indeed.
right? So they don't need to be. Of course, if they're on site, it helps, but they can be anywhere to do that, and that's what we simulated. We say, okay, you only need to be in Nigerian cyberspace. You can use whatever at your disposal. Try to just be offensive against what we have actually set up, and let's see how.
Is the training free?
Right.
Yeah, the training is free.
Okay.
The training is free because there's a part that is the just unsecure with non-profit making organization, and there is Suwebatu AB, who is more like an implementation partner. And yeah, so the training is free. But when you have to now start to set measures to protect your organizations, then it becomes, that's where Suwebatu comes in, to provide those services, to provide those advisory, to set up your security appliances. But for me personally, I think what is more important is this, is to be able to raise more good armies
Than the bad ones.
than the bad ones. Because there will always be bad ones. There's nothing we can do about it. It's a natural phenomenon.
It's a fine place to leave it.
Right. Just before we go, though, so you said regular Nigerians, but then you're also talking about how companies can also latch on to enhance their security, cyber architecture, so to speak. So give us an insight into the beneficiaries. Were they people already affiliated to one company or the other? Or is this something that you expect that just as a regular man or woman, you can just, arm yourself with this kind of training?
So for you to be able to play on the platform, the one that actually competed on the platform, they're just independent without no affiliation.
Okay.
Universities, very random people
Right.
participated. But of course, it's also open for newbies, because what we want to do is to raise security awareness. Because once the awareness is up, we are all better protected. So vulnerability reduces when people are kind of aware of what is going on. So it's for new joiners, it's for intermediate,
Right.
it's for advanced. Yeah, it's
And in terms of in demand, the incentives attached to this, it's also good. It's an attractive field.
no, it's very attractive. I mean, on average now you can quote me on statistic, right?
Okay.
On average, the salary for a cybersecurity professional is about $80,000 to $100,000, right? So, and this Japa syndrome that we have can easily be solved, because you know that you are in Nigeria and you can actually support remotely. That kind of make life much interesting. But it goes beyond just money, right? To me, like it goes beyond just money. It's something that we need to start addressing. We need to come together and start to address it.
All right. Okay. So we thank you very much, Paul Okpara, for speaking to us within the limited time that we have. Chief Executive Officer, Managing Director of Suwebatu. Many thanks again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Right.